We'll do a little coffee pour and a little taste test. Now we can get started. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Rama. I'm a registered dietitian and I like to share easy, healthy lifestyle tips and recipes with you guys. I think one of the biggest myths that I hear as a dietitian is that eating healthy requires a lot of time in the kitchen, a lot of preparation, but I'm here to show you that it can be really quick and easy. I have a couple ideas of what I want to share with you. We're gonna do like an overnight oats, chia pudding, and one of my favorite, honestly, these cookie dough dates that I make. It's a recipe that's gone viral before, so you might have seen it, but I have been thinking about them since the last time I made them a couple months ago, and I don't know why it took me so long, but we're making them again today. So yeah, I thought I'd walk you through just a quick couple of recipes that you can even prep on a Sunday. Honestly guys, if you wanted to do this, it probably would take you less than like 5 minutes if you had all the ingredients ready. For the overnight oats or the chia pudding, just use whatever container you have. It doesn't have to be like a mason jar or anything fancy. It could be anything with a cover with it or anything that you can cover with plastic wrap or whatever is available to you. So let's get right into it. I think we're gonna start with the overnight oats recipe. I'm going to keep this very basic because one thing about overnight oats and chia pudding is that they're so customizable. You can switch out the nut butter that's in them, the sweetener that's in them, the toppings. You can add nuts, add granola, add protein powder if you really want. So I'm gonna keep these very basic so that you're able to kind of add whatever toppings or add-ins that you want. Let's get into it. For the overnight oats, we're gonna start with half a cup of rolled oats. To that, we're gonna add a cup of almond milk or whatever milk you prefer. We're then gonna add about 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt. This will really help with the creaminess. I like to use just a non-fat plain Greek yogurt, but you could use whatever you prefer. This is kind of a little random, but it's like my secret ingredient when it comes to overnight oats or chia pudding. To add more of that creaminess, I always try to do about 1 tablespoon of tahini. Tahini is basically ground sesame seeds. If you've had hummus, you've had it before, but it's a good source of healthy fats, so we're gonna do a little bit of that, and it also has some protein in it as well. You put that right in there. It does have a strong flavor, so you could definitely skip this part if you're not into it, or maybe just add like a little bit. To that, we're gonna do about 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. You could also use honey or any other sweetener that you like. We're gonna add half a teaspoon of vanilla, a pinch of salt. This is gonna help to bring out the flavors, and then about 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm just gonna go in on it because I actually really like cinnamon, so I don't mind having a little extra. That's it for all the ingredients. All you're gonna do is just mix that up. You wanna mix it up really well so that everything is kind of combined in there. And that's it for the overnight oats. We're just gonna cover it and let it sit overnight in the fridge. In the morning, you could top it off with whatever you like, whether that's a little bit of nut butter or fruits, nuts, granola, whatever you're feeling. For the chia pudding, again, we're gonna take whatever container you're gonna be using. I'm gonna go ahead and add about 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. Once you have that, we're gonna do a cup of almond milk. Again, use whatever milk that you prefer. For this one, we're gonna do half a cup of that Greek yogurt. This will really help with the texture if you're not a big fan of the usual chia seed pudding texture. I know for me, before I made it this way and like adding the tahini, I was really not a big fan of chia seeds, but once I got used to it, it's really good. Again, we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of tahini. I like to do about 1 tablespoon of honey in this, and then 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Same thing, we're gonna just go ahead and mix this all up until it's fully combined. We're also gonna cover that and put it in the fridge until tomorrow. I hope you guys felt like that was super easy and quick because it really is, and that's just a quick grab and go breakfast option for you that can be made like for the whole week, literally. I consider these dessert, but I mean, I guess you can consider them whatever you'd like, but we're gonna start with the cookie dough dates. You're gonna start with about 1.5 cups of almond flour. Definitely measuring using my heart here. My recipe calls for 1/4 cup maple syrup, but I don't have that much, so I'm just gonna put, this is probably like 2 tablespoons, and then I'll put honey as the rest. to start with that, and then if I need a little more sweetness, I can add to it. Then we're gonna add about a 1/4 cup of almond butter. You can also use peanut butter or any other nut butter that you have. For that, we're gonna do about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of vanilla. The final piece, and probably my favorite, is the chocolate chips. You can use dark chocolate chips if you prefer milk chocolate chips. I'm just using some semi-sweet chocolate chips here. And for the chocolate chips, I'm doing about a 1/4 of a cup. Gotta test the product as well. Now we're just gonna mix this all together. Once it's all mixed up, it should look something like this. Honestly, just like raw cookie dough, and you can definitely take a bite because it's edible. I could just eat this straight from the bowl, but we're gonna add the dates in. Okay, for this part, you definitely need about 6 to 8 dates, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on how much filling you have. I just usually go until the filling's done. If your dates aren't pitted, make sure you're taking out the pit because we don't want to eat that. I have about 6 done, so we're just gonna go ahead and take the cookie dough and just kind of scoop it in. Until it kind of looks like that. And that is your cookie dough date bite. I'm just gonna go ahead and stuff the rest of them. These are what the dates will look like after. Honestly, the dates that I usually use are much bigger, so I have a bunch left over. That's totally okay. I'll just stuff the other ones, or I'm even thinking about topping off the overnight oats and the chia pudding with just a little bit to give it a little more flavor. But anyways, let's do a taste test. These are quite delicious. But there you have it, the cookie dough stuffed dates. I thought we'd also make dinner together. Today I'm making fike. I posted this recipe on Instagram and TikTok, and for some reason people actually like it. I grew up eating fike. Fike is like this ancient grain with a lot of great health benefits. It's a meal for me. So basically you could either make it with chicken or meat. I've never really tried a vegetarian version myself. I guess you can make it with like veggie broth. But we're gonna start with making the chicken and We're gonna start by cooking the meat so we can get that broth from it as well. I'm using an Instant Pot and I'll use it for almost everything. This meal is kind of just like you put the fike with the meat and then you top it off with peas as well as usually some sort of like nut. I will just do like slivered almonds. So we're gonna start by cooking the meat first. I am just gonna take it into the Instant Pot. It's still a little bit frozen, but I really think it'll be fine. And then I'm going to just kind of like cover it with water. Put that in the pot. And then, I never know. I think I told you guys this, but if you watch another vlog, I am not a professional chef. When it comes to putting the time for the pressure cooker, I never really know what I'm doing. But I think it's pretty safe because this meat's gonna end up getting kind of cooked with the fike too. It is a quick meal. It's not that bad, honestly, especially if you already have like the meat in the broth ready. It'll probably be like 15 minutes in the Instant Pot with the fike. So we're just gonna do pressure cook and I'm gonna just put it at 22 minutes for fun. I usually let it sit here without the cover on and just like boil. That way I can scoop out any of that gunk that kind of floats on the top before adding in salt, pepper, bay leaves, a little bit of cinnamon, and then cardamom. So yeah, I'm just gonna let that sit there until it starts to kind of boil. While that starts to boil, I'm going to take a cup of the fike, about a cup there, and then I'm just going to submerge this with water. Okay, this is what I was talking about. So this is what we want to remove. I'm going to add salt. I don't really measure, which I probably should because sometimes it turns out too salty. Pepper, little cardamom pods, tiny bit of cinnamon just because these cinnamon sticks are really strong for some reason. A couple bay leaves in there. And that's it. Then I'm gonna close this up and let it pressure cook. tablespoon of ghee. You could definitely use olive oil if you prefer that for this step. For this, you're definitely supposed to saute an onion first and then put the fake, but I rarely ever have onions in my house because I just don't like them, so I didn't have it for this. I'm gonna use a little onion powder, and I hope my mom doesn't see this because she would not be happy about that, but that's all I have for the flavor. While that starts warming up, I'm also gonna add in the meat. Okay, to that, we're gonna add a cup of the broth. Fake already has like a really strong flavor. We're gonna add just a little bit of spice. It really doesn't need many other spices. That's it. We're gonna cover that and let it cook for 12 minutes. Started at Croix Bakery. This is like a local bakery around us, and honestly one of my favorites. I was actually here over the past weekend, which is so funny, but I came back because I needed to get some sourdough. We didn't have any more. I got a pistachio capri sandwich, which they make their focaccia, all their breads in-house. They also make their pistachio pasta, which is amazing, in-house. So I'm so excited for that sandwich. And then I got a plain croissant and a pistachio croissant. Again, this pistachio croissant is like the best I've ever had. So I'm super excited to go home and have that, and I'll show you guys in a minute. Let's try out those overnight oats and chia pudding that we made the other day. It's been 2 days since they've been sitting in the fridge and I haven't opened them yet, but let's try them together. I did want to show you guys this shirt that I've had for a couple months now. I love that it's like a little on the longer side, but it's from Lululemon and it's an all cotton shirt, which is something that I've been like really trying to focus on, especially when it comes to activewear, since we're like sweating and your pores are more open. I don't really want to go with the polyester as much anymore, but I just actually ordered the gray version of this. They're not bad. Like when they're on sale, it's only $39–40. But it's a great length. It's really light. It's not like a heavy duty one, so working out in this is perfect. These pants are also really nice, but they're from Erie. I don't think the same exact ones are available anymore because I did get them on sale. But yeah, I really wanted to show you this shirt. Again, I really like love the length. I think as a hijabi, I struggle to find like a workout top that's longer. I'm wearing it with wide leg pants just so it's a little more modest. But yeah, there's the outfit. I'll link this shirt. I think it's linked in my shop but I'll link it below. For the toppings, I opened the fridge and I was gonna go with peach, but then I saw this mango. So I think we're gonna do like a mango coconut. Love this combo. Probably on both of them, and I'll most likely eat them throughout the day because I'm running low on groceries. So this will kind of be my meal. Why does cutting a mango feel like the hardest task of my life? But we got it. They're not perfect by any means, but oh Lord. I'll just do a little bit of the mango. I have these ones. They're just organic coconut shreds. There's no sugar added to these ones, I believe, which I prefer over the sweetened coconut. I have to say, I love the tahina in there. I don't know why, but it gives it just such like a nutty, earthy flavor. Overnight oats. I'm gonna do the same thing with this. Those are really good. I hope you guys try them out and you can let me know what you think.